Most men think that breakups tend to just suddenly happen. One day, your woman wakes up and just tells you, you know what? I'm done. And you, the guy, is standing there thinking, where did this come from? What happened, right? But here is a little bit of reality for you, okay? So buckle up. In most relationships, the breakup actually starts months before the breakup and the conversation maybe ever happens, okay? Scary part of that is most men completely miss it. They are blindsided. By the time that she finally leaves, she has already emotionally detached when she probably has been maybe imagining a life without you for some time now. She's already processed the ending in her mind already. That's why it comes as such a shock. So today, I'm going to break down and walk you through 15 brutally honest reasons why you women leave the men. Not the polite answers, the real ones. And one of the reasons later in this list is actually one that probably blindsides men the most. Once you understand these patterns, you are going to start noticing them everywhere. Let's start with the biggest one. So, number one, loss of respect. If there's one thing that quietly destroys attraction faster than literally anything else, it is loss of respect. She does not respect you anymore, my guy. A woman can still love a man and leave him if she stops respecting him. Respect erodes when a man becomes passive, indecisive, emotionally reactive, or constantly saying that he's going to change something about himself, but never actually follows through. A man with little honor. That is what that is. Think about how many times you've seen this happen. Be honest with yourself. A woman says, I just don't feel it anymore. It doesn't feel the same. But when you really look at the entire relationship as a whole, what actually happened is that respect slowly disappeared over time. And this is the truth that people avoid saying, but I'm going to say it for you. Attraction can survive arguments. It totally can. It can survive stress. It can survive way difficult seasons, but it almost never survives in the loss of respect. That is what I tell everybody I talk to. If there's no respect there, goodness, good luck. But how do you avoid this? Honestly, a couple words: consistency, integrity. Those two. That's really it. If you say you're going to do something, do it. Honor your word to yourself. Respect isn't something that you demand. It is something that your behavior earns over time. Number two, emotional disconnection. Women experience relationships very strongly through emotional connection. Very, very strongly. If she feels that she can't talk to you, or every time she brings up something to you, you become defensive, dismissive, or emotional, she begins to feel alone and she's going to withdraw. So here's where things get a little bit dangerous. A lot of men assume everything is fine just as long as there's no big fights or blow-ups or arguments, right? But I'm sorry, emotional distance doesn't always show up as conflict. Sometimes it shows up as literal silence. She stops bringing things up. She stops sharing what she's feeling to you. She stops trying to connect altogether. And that's when the emotional detachment begins. So how do you avoid that? Be present. Literally just be present. Be curious about your partner's thoughts and feelings. Listen to understand, not just to respond. Number three, feeling unprioritized. When a woman feels like she's constantly competing for you, your time, and attention, more resentment begins building. Work, friends, your phone, your parents, your family, social media, hobbies. None of those things are inherently bad. They're not. Don't get me wrong. But if she constantly feels like she comes from that list being last, she's going to eventually stop fighting for your attention. And when somebody stops fighting for your attention, they usually start emotionally checking out pretty quickly. So how do you avoid this? Prioritize time. It doesn't mean giving up your independence, but prioritize time together. It simply means just making it very clear that the relationship matters. Number four, lack of leadership and direction. Leadership in a relationship does not mean just controlling every dynamic. It's direction. It's purpose. It's initiative. When a woman feels like she has to carry all of the emotional weight of the relationship, making all of the decisions and pushing everything forward, guess what? The dynamic, it starts to feel exhausting and it shifts fast. And exhaustion slowly kills attraction. So how do you avoid this? Have some goals. Take initiative. Real initiative. Just do it. Make decisions and follow through with them. Leadership isn't about inconsistency, right? It's about stability and direction, not dominance. Number 5, chronic unresolved conflict. Arguments don't destroy the relationships, guys. They don't. Every single couple argues. Everybody has a disagreement. But the problem is when the arguments never actually get resolved and they just keep building and building and building. The same issues keep coming up over and over again. Nothing changes. Nothing improves. Eventually, one person stops believing that things will ever get better. And once somebody loses hope, emotional withdrawal begins. So how do you avoid that? Stop trying to win the arguments. Start trying to solve problems. Number 6, loss of attraction. Attraction isn't just physical appearance. It's part of that, yes, but it's also about your energy, your confidence, your overall presence, your frame, your purpose. If somebody becomes complacent, stops taking care of themselves, or loses their sense of direction in life, the attraction literally fades slowly. People are naturally drawn to people who are growing, evolving, and moving forward in life. So how do you avoid this one? Never stop investing in yourself. Ever. Never stop. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you name it. Growth keeps that attraction alive. Number 7, feeling emotionally unsafe. I know you guys hear me talk about this one a lot, but it is important, okay? I know you hear me talk about it a lot, but this is extremely important. Your woman, she's telling you this all of the time. I hear it from you guys. Oh my gosh, she doesn't feel safe. What does this mean? If somebody constantly feels criticized, judged, dismissed, or controlled, their nervous system and brain and body, they start associating the relationship with stress. And when that happens, guess what? The emotional walls go up and they're very hard to naturally let them come down. People naturally protect themselves from environments that feel unsafe, okay? Even if they love the person they're with, it doesn't matter. So how do you avoid this one? You must create an environment where honesty and vulnerability are safe. Number 8, another man entering the picture. This doesn't always happen, but it happens. When it does, it usually is not the root cause of the breakup, though. More often than not, it's a symptom of problems that already existed inside the relationship. I am not excusing this. I'm helping you understand why this happens sometimes, okay? This is just one of the numbers. When emotional connection weakens, outside attention can start to feel a little more appealing. It does not make it right, but it explains why it happens. So how do you avoid this big kahuna, huh? Protect the emotional connection inside of the relationship always. Number 9. She already processed the breakup. Women often begin emotionally processing the relationship long before the breakup conversation even happens. They reflect on the problem. They analyze the patterns. They imagine what life would look like without that relationship. So when the breakup finally happens, it feels extremely sudden to the man. But in her mind, it has been building for months. So how do you avoid this one? Pay attention to the shifts in communication, emotional closeness, and connection. Pay very close attention. Number 10, feeling like she outgrew him. Growth gaps destroy many relationships. If one partner is evolving, learning, developing, while the other one remains stagnant, a gap will form. And it begins slowly and it starts to form. Eventually, the relationship starts feeling limiting rather than supportive. So how do you avoid this one? Never stop growing. Number 11, feeling taken for granted. In the beginning of relationships, people show appreciation constantly. Over time, that appreciation sometimes disappears. When somebody starts feeling invisible in the relationship, the resentment builds quietly. So how do you avoid this one? Express appreciation regularly. Small acknowledgments can make a huge difference, guys. Number 12, sexual dissatisfaction. Sexual connection is often a reflection of emotional connection, okay? Let me repeat. Sexual connection is often a reflection of emotional connection. If intimacy becomes rare, disconnected, or mechanical, or just non-existent, frustration and emotional distance develop. So how do you avoid this? Have sex. Duh. Maintain the communication about sex and prioritize the closeness between you guys. Come on, get it together. Number 13, repeated broken promises. Every time somebody says that they're going to change something or do something and doesn't follow through, trust erodes and it starts to crumble. Eventually, words stop meaning anything. So how do you avoid this? Don't promise change. Don't just say it. Demonstrate the change through your actions. Number 14, lack of effort. You just become lazy or a couch potato, okay? Relationships require ongoing effort and communication, planning time together, showing appreciation about each other, maintaining emotional connection, but you guys aren't doing this. When the effort disappears, the relationship disappears. To put 2 and 2 together, what do you think is going to happen? So how do you avoid it? Never assume the relationship will remain itself. And number 15, feeling lonely inside of the relationship. This might be the most painful one of all, probably, to me maybe. When somebody feels incredibly lonely, even while being in a relationship, you have to wake up. If emotional intimacy disappears, the relationship feels empty. It's gone. It's non-existent. So how do you avoid that? Stay emotionally present, guys. Prioritize meaningful conversations often and share experiences together. Go do things because this is the reality. Most relationships, they don't just explode. They erode slowly. Respect erodes. Connection erodes. Intimacy erodes.